Good morning, Aurora. Good morning, Aurora. Good morning, Aurora. The time is 9:02 a.m. Happy Monday. You're listening to and watching Good Morning, Aurora, the second largest city's first daily news podcast. Today is a great day, and on the 26th of this month, Independent Bookstore Day will be upon us. And who else to talk about something so cool as Independent Bookstore Day than my friends of Yellow Bird Books. I'm going to turn the microphone over to you ladies like we talked about. If anyone who does not know you, please introduce yourselves and tell us your position at Yellow Bird.
All right, I'm Karen Nicolas, and I am the owner of Yellow Bird Books.
That's right.
Here in Aurora.
Right.
I'm Melissa Rinaldi, and I'm bookseller.
All right.
Most
Extraordinaire.
Extraordinary. I was thinking that. I was just thinking that. We are glad to have you ladies on the program, and this is the second time that you ladies have been on the program. But for our viewers and our listeners, you guys know that you've heard about and seen about Yellow Bird Books on the show for quite some time. So I'm glad to have you guys on the program. 34 South Stolp. How are things going in that space?
Oh, it's a fabulous space.
Okay.
I couldn't ask for a better location.
In the Keystone?
In the Keystone building, the historic Keystone building.
Yeah.
Right around the corner from the Paramount, and now we've got fabulous restaurants all around us.
Right across from Craft Urban.
Yeah.
So you guys, that's the intersection rather of Stolp and Downer. Fantastic, and definitely you guys have the street presence in the Keystone, which looks really nice. I mean, your window and that architecture is fantastic. Mm-hmm. Melissa, how are you liking the space in there?
I love it there.
As a bookseller extraordinaire.
I love it there. Karen and I were friends, and when she said, "Are you serious? You want to come work with me?" I was like, "Absolutely." My kids are at school. This keeps my brain going. I'm an introvert, but at the bookstore, I'm not. I can talk to anybody about anything.
Yeah,
it's great.
It's the environment.
Yes,
it's probably the same for me as when I walk into the library. I walk to the library, Santori here, go upstairs, and it's just a wide open mental canvas. It's a lot to see and do, and it kind of brings you up, brings you up. But we're going to talk about Independent Bookstore Day. Now, what's the, sounds very self-explanatory. But what's the importance of Independent Bookstore Day, and how does it fit into like our cities and our culture and our vibrancy in any downtown?
Well, Independent Bookstore Day is a national celebration of independent bookstores.
Okay.
So there will be bookstores all across the country who will be hosting various events, throughout the day.
Mm-hmm.
You can go to indiebound.org, and there's an interactive map.
Indiebound.org.
That shows you every bookstore in the country that's participating. We're also participating with the Chicagoland Bookstore Crawl. So bookstores throughout Chicago and the surrounding areas also have an interactive map that you can look at.
Okay.
Some people like to plan out their day and see how many bookstores they can manage to visit during the day.
Oh, I've done that before. Yeah, I've done that before. I've taken the L up to, the red line up to Chicago, gotten off and got some coffee and checked them off, and gone around. Yeah. So there's a number of activities, and like you said, it's a national movement, a lot of different bookstores. So what will be happening at our beloved Yellow Bird that day?
Oh, we'll have all kinds of things. So to start off the morning, we have, for the first 20 guests, we have some little goodie bags, with some of our bookstore swag and a little gift certificate for them to use that day. Okay. We have some kid and family-oriented events. We have Z&Z balloons, which is two of our former students from Wesley Preschool have started a little entrepreneurship, and so they'll be coming and making balloon animals for our visitors.
They're 5th and 6th grade.
That's amazing.
Yes.
That is amazing. Z&Z?
Z&Z.
Yep.
Write that down. I might have to get them on the show. You guys might have to. Okay.
We'll have Lisa Lentz Manning, who's our resident artist, who did our logo.
Which is very awesome.
Thanks.
Very awesome logo.
Yeah, she did a great job. She's going to be doing some face painting for the kids or grown-ups if they so choose.
Okay.
what else do we have going? So many things.
We have a local author, Mackenzie Burns, coming.
Okay.
She has a new book releasing this Thursday in a romance series. So she's a multi-genre author, so she'll be there from 3 to 5 signing and selling her books. At the checkout, we'll have a lollipop pull. So you pull and the color tells you what you win.
Okay.
Gift cards, stickers, totes, merch. We have a number of drawings. I think we're up to 5 different drawings. So every $25 you spend, you get a entry into the drawing to win indie exclusive merchandise.
That's very cool.
So it's exclusive autographed books. Horror movie is one. We do have Diary of a Wimpy Kid signed copies. So there's each little genre basket kind of deal.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
First Fridays have also been an amazing event at your location. Talk about those and how those have been growing.
Well, we've had great success with First Fridays
Okay.
Since we opened. They're really important for the downtown businesses,
Right.
To bring in that foot traffic. We've also been partnering with local artists on First Fridays. So we put a call out for art out each month, and we choose a theme. So this past month, because it was April and it's April Fool's Day, and David Sedaris was coming to the Paramount this past weekend, we chose Make 'em Laugh as our theme. And so, the artists kind of just take it whatever direction they like, and then they display it in the store, and we keep it for the month.
Okay.
So they can bring prints to sell as well.
Okay.
This coming May, since Cats is opening up at the Paramount,
All
Cats
right.
is our theme. So
That's
we'll have
right.
cat-themed art and cat-themed books and everything cats in the store.
Okay. Now I am curious if I'm looking for a title and I haven't found it around, is Yellowbird able to order that for me?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes. So you can come into the store, and we'd love to see people come into the store, and we can first see if we have it in stock, and if we
Right.
don't, we can order it and get it generally less than a week.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That's good turnaround. Okay.
You could also go to our website, and we have a link for order requests.
Okay.
So you can fill that out, let us know what you're looking for, and then we'll follow up with you and let you know if we have it, or if, we can make arrangements to order it.
Are there enough bookstores in America?
No.
Well, I don't think so.
No.
Why? That's why we had to open Yellowbird Books.
Yeah.
And we're still the only one independent bookstore in Aurora.
Now that I think about that very hard, now that you just said that, you are right. You are, because I think there's a Barnes & Noble in Oswego.
Correct.
And they're not independent.
And they're not independent. You're right. And then you still have to go points unknown still to find another. Where's the other close independent bookstore?
Well, you have Anderson's, which is
Naperville.
Naperville, which has been
Yes.
around for a very long time, a wonderful bookstore. There's Harvey's Tales in Geneva,
Okay.
also another wonderful bookstore. Townhouse Books in St. Charles,
Okay.
and that's kind of in our immediate area. That's about
That's
all
it?
there is.
Yeah,
if you go west a bit, there's one in Ottawa.
Okay.
But yeah,
Yeah. Anderson's bookstore, as just mentioned by Karen, is in Naperville, and it's on Jefferson. So when you get close into downtown Naperville, and it's right, it's on the same street as Lou Malnati's. Definitely shout out to that place. It's a very, very nice space in there. Now, all of you independent bookstores, Geneva and Naperville, do you guys collaborate? Do you guys work together? Do you guys, is it like a secret handshake or something?
well, we're all participating in Independent Bookstore Day.
Okay.
Last year, the people from Harvey's Tales were kind enough to bring us the maps,
Okay.
and we have little passports as well for the Chicagoland bookstore crawl. So they were
Okay.
kind enough to go pick them up for us at a central location
Nice.
and bring them to us. So that was really nice. And we just try to give them a shout out whenever we can. When
Absolutely.
people ask about what bookstores there are in the area.
All right. The time, ladies and gentlemen, is 9:11 a.m. If you're just joining us, you are watching Good Morning Aurora, the second largest city's first daily news podcast. And we're learning about Independent Bookstore Day, which is going to be on the 26th of this month, from our friends Karen and Melissa of Yellowbird Books, located at 34 South Stolp here in beautiful downtown Aurora. So since the doors have been open, what have been some of the, some of the crowd pleasers at Yellowbird Books, and who have been some of the authors who've been, highly requested or have done well when they've done pop-ups and different events at the bookstore? Some folks for us to keep our eyes on and look at, in the next couple of years.
Well, a couple of genres that have been really big in our store are science fiction
Ooh.
and fantasy,
Okay.
romance. There's also a kind of newer genre that's referred to as romantasy. So it's romance and fantasy.
So dragons and romance and ogres.
Sounds a lot like life in a few ways, right?
Yes. That's been really popular.
Romantasy, okay.
Yeah, so authors like Rebecca Yarros and Sarah J. Maas both have series that have been in the romantasy genre that have been really popular. But it really also, I love it when we have some more classic books that are popular as well.
Okay.
So for example, I had a customer come in last week and bought the trilogy from Lord of the Rings.
Oh, wow.
Which
Okay.
has been around for a long time.
It has, yeah.
Or books like Dune. A lot of times when there is a movie or a TV series that comes out based on a book, those books will kind of have a little resurgence too.
Yes, like Buffy the Vampire Slayer. That was a TV show. Then it became a youth, young adult kind of book, and they were very popular. I do recall.
Yeah.
Yep. Now, what are some of the favorite titles that both of you ladies like and have read, and what do you recommend for our audience?
Well, my favorite book in the past year was James by Percival Everett.
Okay.
It is a retelling of the story of Huckleberry Finn, but it's from Jim's perspective.
Okay.
And it was brilliantly written, and it was a page turner.
Award winner.
That sounds good.
It was a
Yeah.
National Book Award winner.
Okay.
For 2024. I couldn't put it down.
Right.
And so I've been recommending that to everyone
That's
that comes
excellent.
into the store.
Excellent.
And then we have some other, my husband has a favorite book that he recommends. He loves the book True Grit. And
Oh,
so he hand sells that to everyone. And
True Grit.
True Grit.
I gotta
It's
read that.
excellent. It really is an excellent book. Yeah. So we sold, and that's an example too of a book that's been around for decades, really. But it's really a classic, and we've sold quite a few of them.
I need to read it.
Definitely.
Melissa?
My current one that I'm hand selling is called Head Cases. So it's kind of FBI thriller, but it's a special crime unit that solves all the puzzles from serial killers that the FBI can't solve. But this team is completely neurodivergent, and you can tell in the writing. And so they're often told, like, hey, I know you're thinking black and white, but this moment is a gray moment. It's really well written. It's got twists and turns. I love it, and that's my hand sell right now.
Sounds like a thriller, kind of law enforcement.
Yeah, like
kind of
if
thing?
you
Okay.
like Mindhunter on
Okay.
Netflix, that's your jam. Yeah.
Awesome. True Grit. The reason why that lit a spark in my mind is because that was an old John Wayne movie, a really good one. Then they remade it with Josh Brolin and a couple other people, and that was amazing. And now
Yes.
I learned that there's a book. I really got to read it. I really got to
do.
read it because the story is amazing.
Yes.
The story is amazing. A young girl goes on cross America, retribution for the outlaw who killed her dad. Just an amazing story.
It is.
It reminds me of another great author, Louis L'Amour,
Oh, okay.
who wrote a series of books. I know some of our listeners know those books. Anderson, that's why Anderson is so important to me, because Anderson is a place that I first discovered those books.
Okay.
Anderson's Bookstore, yep. Anyway, the time is 9:16. So, what are some of the other events that you guys got coming up, some of the special happenings which will be taking place at Yellowbird?
Well, we've started to get involved with several book clubs.
Okay.
So in our store, we have a poetry book club that is led by Kristen Latour
Okay.
of the Aurora Writers Workshop.
She was poet laureate, was she not?
No,
Okay.
I don't believe so. But
Okay.
she did the Aurora Writers Workshop last summer where
Okay.
it was a weekend of education and events for local
Okay.
writers. So she leads that. That's bi-monthly.
Okay.
It's wonderful. She does a great job. We spend about 30 minutes discussing the book, and then because she's a poet herself, she selects books by authors that she knows, and so she has them zoom in with us for the last 30 minutes of.
Oh, wow. That's got to be
The
very
book club.
special for the author.
It's special for all of us,
Sure, yeah, sure,
really.
yeah.
To get a chance to meet and converse and ask questions of the
That's
author is
amazing.
really exciting. And then we also have a book club that we call our One and Done Book Club.
Okay.
That one's coming up May 1st, and our first book, or actually it's our second one that we're doing. It's called A Libertarian Walks Into a Bear.
Okay.
It's a true story written by a journalist about a town in New Hampshire where a group of libertarians decides that they want to create a free town. And so they start to get involved in the community in different ways, changing some of the laws, and then they start to have a bear problem. And because they've changed some of the laws, there isn't really a great way to handle the problem that they're having with the bears that are
Interesting.
just becoming more and more,
Frequent.
bold
Yeah.
and coming into the community. So that one's coming up. And we call it One and Done because a lot of people get overwhelmed with, I don't think I can commit to a monthly book club.
Right.
So this one, we choose a book, we select a date, we let everybody know about it, and we get together and discuss it, and then we're done.
What was the name of
A
the book?
libertarian walks into a bear.
A Libertarian Walks Into a Bear.
Yeah.
That sounds like a very creative, awesome book.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's written really well, and there's a lot of humor in it as well.
Right.
So it's kind of a serious topic, but also it's written with a lot of humor.
Right. So, going back to the question I asked about, are there enough independent bookstores? We all agree that there are not.
Yeah.
Okay. What does it take, or what's required of one to successfully start and run an independent bookstore? I go to vendor events all the time, and I have folks who sometimes will bring a book, sit there, and try to gather a crowd, and let people know about the book and talk about it. So it seems like those individuals have that spark and that desire for the printed word, and also to bring people together. So what is it, how can people, if they are interested, how can they learn more or start or create a gathering which could potentially take place at a bookstore or start one?
Well, yeah, we have lots of events that happen at the bookstore, so everyone's always welcome,
Okay.
to come to those. When I started Yellowbird Books, I had, it just kind of started out as a little idea. I love books. I've always loved books since I was a child. So I just decided, I started to do some research,
Good.
There's good old Google, how do you open a bookstore?
Absolutely.
And so in doing that, I came across the American Booksellers Association.
Okay.
And so you're able to join that as a prospective member,
Okay.
and then you have access to all kinds of resources
Awesome.
on what it takes to open a bookstore and to run a bookstore. There are also regional organizations that fall under the umbrella of the American Booksellers Association. So there's a
Okay.
Midwest, and there's, East and West and everywhere in between.
Okay.
They also do regional conferences. So I attended one of the Midwest regional conferences, which was everyone was really encouraging and welcoming. And it gave me a chance to learn about book selling, get to know other booksellers,
Right.
And determine if this was something that I could make happen.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And you ladies have been friends for
Oh,
How long?
goodness, I don't know.
I don't know.
Long time. Good
Well,
friendships.
10 years,
Maybe 10 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we worked together at Wesley Preschool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you recall the first day that you got the call to join Yellowbird Books?
I don't even think it was just a call. It was like as she was mulling it around, I'm like, yeah, I'm there. Let's do this.
Right.
And then it was, okay, but if I really do it, and I'm like, yeah, I'm there. And then it's like, all right, come interview with me. I'm like, all right. And we sat in her house, and she's like, sell yourself to me. I'm like, okay, sure thing.
Yeah.
And ball went from there. That's it.
Interview. You knew you already
I
had that.
Yeah, absolutely.
She kept it professional.
The time is 9:22. Time is going by really fast. For just joining us, we are here talking to our friends Karen and Melissa of Yellowbird Books. So this first Friday that's coming up, which is going to be here quicker than we know it. What's going to be taking place that day?
That will be our cats theme.
That's cats. Okay.
Yes. So we'll have art. We already have several artists signed up. They're
Okay.
excited about that.
Has the
We've
call
been-
closed?
Pardon
The
me?
call to art closed already?
No, it's
Okay.
still open.
Okay.
And we've been ordering books
Okay.
and all kinds of things. So
All right. What are some of the? Is it any media requirement for cats? Any?
it's any media really. We do have a small store, so we do have a restriction on size.
Okay.
But there's a link on our website where artists can sign up for that.
Okay. That sounds very
So,
cool. That
yeah.
sounds very cool. Now, do either of you ladies draw?
No.
No.
I'm an aspiring artist that will never be an artist. I love to craft, but that's about it.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Do you do any crafts at the shop during First Fridays or any events?
Sometimes we do. We try to do like a make and take, something that's available for all ages at our back table. We'll do make and take book plates, so you can put your own name inside your book. We'll do bookmarks. We did a big Galentine's event,
Okay.
which was the day before Valentine's, because that is Galentine's Day. And people signed up, and then we had different groups, and you just rotated craft tables for that night. So it was like a female empowerment craft night, relationship building. And we do have all these ideas of of more crafty events.
That's a good date night.
Yes.
You go there for the craft, and you go across to Craft Urban.
There you go.
Bam! Sit on the patio, hang out, get the chicken sandwich.
Definitely.
That would be a good date night. So it's just one of many things to do in lovely downtown Aurora. So 34 South Stolp is the address. What are the hours, days that you ladies are open?
We're open 10 to 7, Wednesday through Saturday.
Okay.
And on Sundays, we're open from noon to 4.
All right. Wonderful, wonderful. Noon to 4 and 10 to 7. My favorite book, and I asked about the ordering because I need to get this ordered. Maniac McGee.
Oh, yeah, I remember that one.
By Jerry Spinelli. That book is my favorite book. It's a real heart warmer, and it tells us it tells a great kind of coming of age story. But basically, what it's about is it's about a young kid who is staying away from home, kind of things. It deals with a lot of themes. But basically, there's like a white side of town and a black side of town, and this kid is maniac. They call him maniac because he's just staying away from home. He's got a lot of problems at home, so he's running up and down the train tracks and he's doing all kinds of crazy things. He's having all these adventures, and he's sleeping at a zoo, and a young black family takes him in, and it tells you the tale of this young white kid growing up with the black. It's an excellent book. I didn't do it justice with this short preamble about it, but it really is a good book. So I encourage anyone. Maniac McGee. It's a great book to start your kids out with. I thought it was fantastic. Anyway, the time is 9:26. How can we help you? How can ourselves or the listeners help you ladies and help Yellowbird Books? How can we as a community support Yellowbird?
Just come to the bookstore.
Okay.
Come to our events. Come in, let us know what you're interested in reading. If we don't have what you're looking for, let us know. We're happy to order it. We want to be part of the community. We also really want to work with other businesses and other, nonprofit groups. We've done some things with the library.
Okay.
We've mentioned the Perch with Amy Jackson. She has a book club. So, we make sure we stock the books that her book club is doing. We have coming up, Hoof and Horn is going to do a book club. We've got lots of things.
The Aurora LGBTQ Advisory Board is starting a book club at our store as well.
Oh, really?
Their first book is Legends and Lattes.
Oh,
it's
that's
a
awesome.
romantasy book.
Yes.
That's awesome. I like seeing them do some events. They did Society 57 events, I believe, not too long ago, because that board's only been around for 2 years.
Yeah, it's new.
It's a very new
Yeah.
board. So kudos to our friends on the Aurora LGBTQ
Yep.
LGBTQT advisory board. Shout out to our friends. Yeah, they're definitely doing good stuff. I think as we start to wrap this up, I do want to say congratulations to you ladies. How many years now have you been in business?
Well, going on 2.
Going on
but,
2.
It'll be 2 years in October. So
Yeah.
We're still pretty young.
Congratulations. Yeah. You guys are, but congratulations. And from our very first interview to this one, I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
I'm proud of you. This year, you know what? It's hitting a little bit different this year. You know why? Because as we approach a milestone for our show, so many other people are having milestones, and now we can revert back to like, oh man, I remember when that place was closed, and now like McCarty Mills, the Perch with Amy Jackson, a lot of our friends are doing fantastic stuff.
Yes.
So it really feels good. And as I told you, ladies, please come out May 17th to McCarty Mills for our anniversary party, and yourselves as well, the viewers, you guys are all welcome as well. May 17th at 6 p.m. McCarty Mills, located on River Street in between Amy Jackson's The Perch and the Desjardins. All right. Well, the show ends on a positive note. I'll give you ladies the last word. What's your message today for the entire city of Aurora?
Keep reading.
Well said. Well said.
Nice. Stop in for an experience you're not going to get at those other bookstores. Independent bookstores will recommend books you've never heard of. You'll have a nice lengthy conversation. It's a hangout place. You're not going to get that at the big box stores.
Absolutely, absolutely. Celebrate Independent Bookstore Day, the 26th of this month at Yellowbird Books, 34 South Stolp Street. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you guys have a fantastic day, a great and motivated week, and remember, support your local bookstore. Take care of yourself and each other.
Being a local business in Chicago, we've always worked with community banks, but over time, those smaller banks started getting acquired by larger national footprint banks. It became time to work with Wintrust to meet our needs without having to have that big bank feel.
Wintrust understood what they wanted to accomplish, and they've increased in size 5 times over.
As we continue to grow, we're going to keep needing to borrow, so I'm sure they're going to love that.
Serving their needs. It's really the foundation of what Wintrust Commercial Banking is all about.
YEP gives me a lot of hope for the future, not just here locally, but as those kids go out into the world and they share their perspectives and their passions, it's going to be infectious. It's going to spread. So they're just an amazing organization that sets their partners and this community up for success. The future of this community, and honestly the country and the world, is bright with the kids that are on that YEP program, because they're going to save the world. They're doing incredible work, and to just get to know them and learn about their passions was a very fulfilling experience for me. Without the Community Foundation, it would be much more difficult for Hesed House and so many other organizations here locally to enact our mission on a daily basis.